Hello, Dr. Elmer, Advanced Neurospinal Solutions, and we're continuing with compulsive disorders, compulsive behaviors and that. And the question in continuance is, can a person with a compulsive disorder change their behavior? And here again, the question implies the behavior makes the brain, whereas the way I want you to see it is in reverse. The problems within the brain, the lack of development within the brain, or if it's caused because of an injury that does the same effect physiologically, where you lose the brake pedal and you leave the gas pedal, and there are conditions that can do that. However that happens, the answer is we need to build that system with the off button, the brake pedal part of the system, and that. So the problem is the brain, and then when we change the brain, the behavior will change because now we've got a brake pedal instead of just having a gas pedal. So here we have, remember we talked about the three directions we're going to be working. This is left brain, right brain, and this is the on button, off button. The inside of the pizza is the on button. The next layer in is the off button. Okay, and so we're going to work with the opposite side of the body with movement patterns with two major movement systems: the mesolimbic and the mesocortical systems. Mesocortical is going to go out here to the outside of the brain, but it's going to go through the basal ganglia to get there. And we're also working with the mesolimbic system to drive the emotional part of the system, which goes to the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. If you take the brain and split it in half and look on the inside, it's in there in the frontal lobe. So, or what used to be called frontal lobe, now it's got its own delineation. So, but we want to change this behavior, so we're going to work those to build from below up the ability to work that off part of the button. We've already got the on, that's not an issue. It's, can we turn it off? Does it continue to reverberate? When I think a thought, can I shut it down? Or does it continue to reverberate and reverberate and reverberate? Okay? Also, we're going to build that left brain's having a problem, and it feeds down, and remember I said it turns up the idle of the basal ganglia so that it can function easier and better, because the cortex is depending upon input from the basal ganglia so that it knows what to do. And so we're building from above down, but building that circuitry in there so it's constantly driving it at a much higher and higher level. The better the refinement of that circuitry, the better the strength of that circuitry and the connections, the harder they drive that basal ganglia, and the easier it is for that basal ganglia to kick off. Kind of like when you change the idle on your car and you're going, and then all of a sudden we change the idle and it's really good. It starts right up, and that's what we're trying to do. You'll notice that when there's a one-sided brain problem, that's the side with the basal ganglia problem, right? It is, it's going to be, because we didn't build that brain in the first place from below up. We didn't build the on-off button, and we didn't build the part of the cortex that feeds down to juice the idle. Okay? And then finally I said we're going to also build it from the front back. And so that is these specific exercises for the hyperdirect pathways. And those hyperdirect pathways are they're more advanced, more mature, more adult, oh brother, adulting again. The more adult parts of that brain that allow it to say no to stuff. And that, especially this one right here, the orbital frontal cortex, which is underneath that frontal lobe, that orbital frontal cortex is the absolute no. The things that you will absolutely not do. Also the things that you wire in, I will absolutely do this on a regular basis, whatever that is. And that's that circuitry. And so you can imagine, on a kid, that's the last thing to grow. and it's the hardest to do. And you have to really make those decisions, and in making those decisions, you have to wire it. That's the Hebbian principle, right? That which fires together, wires together. So in solving the behavioral problem, we have to solve the circuitry problem. If we're messing continuously with the behavior, trying to change the behavior, but we don't have the capacity with the circuitry, it's not going to work. So can you see now, the closer you get to the truth, the simpler the solution, and it just kind of lays itself out. Those are the things, the factors that we do in order to change those. So if you have any other questions, please let us know. We're happy to do more videos, and remember, we're here when you're ready to take your life back.